first peek at what's going on here in the prize cards. 5 good ones, 6 good ones, all right.
Aerodactyl piece is not there whatsoever over on Connor's end. 3 different energies, 2 of the capture and 1 of the V-Guard, but we'll still have plenty of pieces because you have to get your own setup going too. You got going there, and beyond that, hope that you can.
Yes, this is going to be definitely a bunch of fireworks here in these opening turns. Very important to see what goes on here, and I think Connor just said that he's going first. So definitely a big piece to remember here as we start this match.
Being able to go first, you can start making sure those Archeops get pitched away into the discard and make sure you can set yourself up for the best success of getting those down on the next following turn. Evolution Incense to start instantly pulling an Archeops out of the deck.
Yep, we've seen this Lugia deck time and time again, and sure enough, the most important piece is finding those Archeops, getting those into the discard pile, making sure your resources are there, and get that summoning star going, because if you don't, there's an Aerodactyl waiting to turn off everything you've ever dreamed of.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a bit beforehand about it, but it really just comes down to who sets up. Like, once you're beyond that, I mean, yeah, there's so much time on the clock, but if you can't really do anything, like, what's the point to that? You're even talking if Alex all of a sudden sees the birds down, go down on the other side, that in a lot of normal cases, that's just a scoop.
Yeah, and Connor is going to be thinking about the following turn here now. The hand not too impressive, but grabs the Luminion, thinking about the future turn, and has the capture energy too, so at least a second Pokemon. And this is a very strong start here. Love to see the Oranguru as well. Maybe you could even use Luminion if you wanted to play that down, throw a supporter on top, not worry about Marnie, but you know that Melanie is usually the card to worry about from your opponent.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about what we kind of wanted to call this deck earlier on, and yeah, Vikavolt is such a strong part of it. But that Melanie, you can't discount that either. Being able to get that energy attached is just so strong and so crucial in a couple of moments of being able to get that Vikavolt when in case is set up.
All right, and Connor's going to go ahead and pass the turn here now, and is over to Alex, who's going to take a peek at these prize cards and get some good news, I guess. We're not going to be able to grab anything fun, but nothing too bad there in the prizes.
Yeah, and a good chance to look over what is in fact stuck in those prizes. Makes it so when you're going through the deck check, you don't have to quite be counting quite as much. You already know what is exactly there.
I think Alex was desperately hoping that a lightning Pokemon was in his prize cards, because he's got a bunch of energies, a speed lightning, and no way to get this hand moving. A bunch of Mews, and looks like not much help here either from the Mysterious Tail. Just going to go grab another energy? That's your 5th.
I mean, anything that you can get out of there, so maybe this Mysterious Tail has a better chance at finding something that's going to be a bit more helpful than all this energy.
Yeah, I mean, you can use one of these to retreat and try again. You've got another Mew in hand, and just maybe find something. Put trekking shoes into something, who knows? But one really good item card, the Battle VIP Pass, is going to be found.
That's going to work out. Sure, you just had a handful of Mews and energy, but it's going to be enough to get you to that Battle VIP Pass, because getting more of a setup going down is going to be fantastic. And then what do you want to be looking for in this case? We see the Vikavolt, Radiant Greninja being pulled right out. The Raikou, actually.
Yeah, this is just a nod to how important it is to be able to stay in the prize exchange here with the Lugia V, which is likely to be a VStar on this following turn now. Just go ahead and get that Raikou charged up and maybe get something moving here.
2 cards off of the concealed cards there at this point. And going back in, Ultra Ball in hand. Just have to decide what you want to be getting rid of. There's going to be energy, but it's going to be another Mew. I guess, yeah, you don't need to throw one of those. A cross switcher that will get tossed for that Aerodactyl.
Well, you can always hope, right? And Connor hasn't shown anything yet. You do know there's a Luminion in the hand, so at least a supporter will be available at some point. But maybe you can put Connor on the 1-turn clock now.
Yeah, you either have it or you don't. If the Summoning Star doesn't come out this turn, then know that there is going to be this threat of this Aerodactyl on the horizon. But Evolution Incense, things off, be able to go and grab this Lugia V-Star. This is going to work so well. We see that V-Star counter flip over the Archeops, making their way onto the bench, and that is such a solid start for Connor.
That is exactly what you need to find here. Now is going to be able to look through the deck and find all of these energies and get this Lugia charged up. And you start to wonder about what other Pokemon you want to attack with in this instance, just because you get worried about that Raikou and on the follow-up.
And then at this point for Alex, sitting here, seeing the VStar counter flipped over and the Archeops on the bench, what are you looking for?
Well, I'm going to need to reuse this Raikou a few times if you want to stay in the match, because there's going to be an endless flow of energies and Pokemon to attack with those energies from this point on. And that means that Vikavolt is not very strong. You're only dealing 50 damage at a time. You're trying to do an item lock, but items are usually used to find those Pokemon or get towards those energies withdrawal, and you're just not going to be doing that. They're already available for Connor.
Yeah, as cool as the Vikavolt portion of this deck is, there's a couple of different varieties to make sure that you have everything that you need up against the field. The Primal Turbos over on Connor's end, going to be used to power up this Lugia. Get ready to go for an attack.
We see holding on to some powerful energies. There's opportunities there for cards like the Archeops to get involved in the attacks. So we've seen Stoutland sometimes to knock out some of these Pokemon, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the Aerodactyl completely from play here, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, this way, too, you'll be able to get the 2 prizes as opposed to the 1. Make sure the prize rate could be a bit more favorable for you.
That's just going to be it.
That's the scoop. Game 1 going over to Connor, being able to get those Archeops out, and that's the end for this Vikavolt deck that first turn.
Yeah, hopefully he's got TSA pre-check. He's trying to get on that flight nice and early now, and up 1 game must feel fantastic. You can't find them at the right time, or if you can just get all these cards early enough, then there's no problem. Wow, that's a lot of Pokemon.
A lot of Pokemon in the prize cards for Connor here. Going to be Lumineon, Bird, just everything going on out. The Oranguru will be the starting Pokemon over on Alex's end, the Vikavolt, but the Battle VIP Pass will be able to start search out something like this Aerodactyl and put this pressure on.
Yeah, and that's the importance of the build here for Alex. Has so many ways to use these item cards optimally and get a 1/1 line like this Aerodactyl lined up. We see that card featured in this list is the Forest Sealstone, which can also all but guarantee that this Pokemon will find play. So being able to get all of this going and start by going first basically means that Alex is going to do what he wants.
Yeah, taking the opportunity to also put this Raikou V down on the bench and eye up the rest of the deck, figure out how things are and make sure you're set up to go. But already this is, it's better than game 1.
Yep, and we didn't see the Radiant Greninja here, so maybe that's a card that's already in the hand, or there is a way to continue to draw from this point.
To look through speed energy in hand, so attaching onto the Raikou can go ahead and draw 2 from the deck.
Yep, we see a lot of fringe cards that could help out in some instances, but nothing particular for now, and no water in the discard for Melanie for the next turn, so we'll see if Alex is able to piece all of this together.
Start things out for Connor. Wisdom to start. Gene, a quick ball there, an Ultra Ball in hand. Definitely ways to be able to get Pokemon and grab one of those Lugias and start trying to get Archeops as well to throw those away.
Yeah, we see the Archeops there. The Quick Ball is in hand too, so we'll be able to get both of those into the discard pile and go and find the Lugia if necessary, or has to go actually for this Lumineon. It looks like. Didn't know if there was another Pokemon in the hand now, or if he's just going to have to leave it up to the top 5.
I mean, at this point, too, you want to go for your own setup, but also staring down this Aerodactyl on the bench, staring down Alex with a few cards in hand.
Has the Lugia.
Lugia in hand, so even better. So get that set up and be able to Marnie, see a couple of cards, but try and make sure that Alex won't be able to have anything going for him next turn.
Yeah, we've seen in a lot of matchups, when you go second with Lugia, you better get 2 of them because they don't like to stick around too long, and gonna just have that opportunity now. And Connor's going to try to do a little bit of disruption here. Alex is holding on to a lot of cards and feels pretty content, and maybe just sticking him on a 4-card hand is what you need to do.
Especially, too, you just need to push him back that 1 turn. You just need to make sure your summoning star goes first, so that Marnie is going to come down. These hands thrown to the bottom of the deck. Connor able to grab 5. Be interesting to see what Alex has on his end.
We're going to see the Evolution Incense for that Lugia. And that's going to be going into the hand now. Maybe Oranguru could just leave that on the top of the deck if there's nothing else that you want to think about from this hand.
This point just a pass over. Right, Wisdom was used so early on, so unable to safeguard it for next turn, but now we'll have to see if Alex is able to get their trekking shoes.
Yeah, these shoes are very important. They're the only way that something can get done this turn, and it just finds water energy. This last shoe is so big. Not there. Ultra Ball. Huge find.
That was a huge walk, a huge trek to get there, but finally the Ultra Ball, the last available card to get at that point, and we'll be able to go in and look a little bit further into that deck. It'll be the Crobat coming out, Dark Asset, to be able to get more cards.
Yeah, that was getting very scary, down to the very last card here now. But we'll be able to play out this hand a little more too. The energy onto the Aerodactyl. We are fully committed here to getting out the VStar.
Just go all in. You can get that Aerodactyl VStar.
That's not good.
But it's not what we needed here.
Yep, there's a couple supporters. Energy Surge to Ditto. This is not okay.
No, I mean, this deck can be so powerful in the options that it offers, but there's also so many pieces to it, and it's just missing that one piece to the puzzle that's gonna make all that, can make all that different. Marnie will be able to get another opportunity to get something.
All right, these are the biggest 5 cards of the tournament here for Alex now. Desperately needs to find a way to get this going, and that is so bad.
The Aerodactyl V just sitting on the bench. You're able to go first. You're able to start getting that pressure, but unable to follow through the training court and just the pass over to Connor.
Connor's got nothing. he's got 3 energies, a pumpkin, and a what is that? A boss's orders?
Primate Wisdom. That'll be a choice belt grabbed off of that. You needed that one to be something useful for you, but not this time around. Capture energy onto the Lugia.
Your opponent gives you the window where you could use your summoning star, and he just can't find the Lugia. And if he placed it on top with the Oranguru, it would have been available, but maybe he used it early, but
had to use it to start the turn, so wasn't able to safeguard against the Marnie. And that's the thing with these Marnies. They can be so strong in that disruption. Just has to be a pass back over.
This is unreal. Both players trying to get something going here. There is a water energy in the discard pile that Melanie finally going to get used. And is there a way to get the Aerodactyl V-Star out? I still don't see it.
I don't think so. Sitting on quite a couple of cards, but not anything that's really going to be able to help out. This is such a frustrating situation.
Yep. Of course, energy for the turn is still available, so maybe just go with that plan that's worked for so many other decks and attack with the Vicavolt for the time being. Avoid items being an answer, but no, going to go ahead and retreat now and go on this aggressive route, maybe drawing into something with the fleet-footed. Speed Lightning energy, that's a nice find. 2 additional cards.
But what are you going to get off of those cards at that point? Because
yeah, this is the big piece that I've been looking for here is the Radiant Greninja. It's so helpful in these early stages where you play so many ways to find these basic energies and continually bring them back. It's just a nice way to refill the hand over and over again.
This point, sitting on a lot of cards. No Aerodactyl, but just going to be taking the KO onto the Oranguru.
Finds the Ultra Ball.
That's going to be huge. This Lugia V-Star will be able to go in with this Ultra Ball and grab that out. The Aerodactyl V-Star was unable to get going, unable to lock that down. And now with the Lugia V-Star being active, we'll be able to go ahead for that summoning star and bring those Archeops out.
Doesn't have very much left in the hand, but it is an energy and a boss's orders as well. So this is a very strong start in game number 2. And we were talking a lot about that Aerodactyl, and it needs to evolve if you want to get things done.
Yeah, and unfortunately, just things were not coming together for Alex at that part. Actually, both players were given a window. Neither deck was really functioning quite how you needed it to, but Connor's going to be the first one to get out of that precarious situation and now can start setting up. And it's like, what now for Alex? I mean, this is the worst case scenario.
Yeah, this is huge. You lose your biggest piece there in the Raikou V after this spot because you've already seen the Summoning Star. You need to have that Pokemon to come back into the field and take a knockout on this Lugia, because if it continues to take V knockouts, there's no way you're going to come back.
Yeah, already getting 2 prize cards for Connor and being able to get things set up, be taken out, be the quick ball away in the boss's orders, just to go in and bring this Ditto V out.
Yeah, this is the one way to continue to chain together this Raikou. You play down the Ditto V and it can just take the spot of this Pokemon. It's so awkward for many decks to just continue to use Ordinary Rod and have the answer over again to bring this Pokemon out. So really nice spot here to play this Pokemon and think of these situations.
Yeah, and at this point, too, you're down a game. Yes, things are tricky, but you do have to play for what you can. And this Raikou can definitely try and do its best to put some pressure out.
Going to go ahead and V transformation, bring out that Raikou. Melanie going to throw the energies on there, and sure enough, the lightning is ready to go too. So at least a response for this first Lugia, and we're going to see some prize cards taken for both of these players now.
It's definitely a bad situation, but could it be worse? Being able to get this energies onto the Raikou and grab that out. The Lightning Rondo could definitely hit for a good chunk of damage, taking down this Lugia VStar.
Yep, sneak in a Fleet Foot as well and draw an additional card. Plenty of cards in the hand now for Alex, but he's going to have to continue to find ways to stay in the prize race here, as Connor played down most of his hand, but thankfully does have some options now. Plenty of ways to attack here. The Raikou and a Quick Ball in the hand too.
And this Easy Rare Raikou, love this card. It's such a cool addition. I mean, there's a couple of different Pokemon that these Lugia lists like to be playing, but this is such a nice one. Being able, with that amazing shot, do damage both to the active and to the bench.
Yep, and gonna go ahead and bring up that Radiant Greninja, and there is a nice knockout lined up on the bench as well if you want to target down that Zapdos.
Yeah, be able to make sure that, well, Alex is trying to keep himself in the prize trade, that you can get ahead of it, taking 2 prizes and only 2 prize cards away now from taking this thing down.
Yep, and of course, the way to go about in this matchup to take knockouts is going to be that Raikou once more, and that is a V Pokemon. Connor doing a fantastic job with the prize mapping there, having just needing the 2 prizes to close out now.
And you're so close at this point for a matchup that Connor felt so uncertain about. Has the birds out, has the attacker out on Alex. It'll be the Vikavolt V with that air balloon being put into the active slot.
Yep, I'm just looking for opportunities now for Alex to continue to draw prizes. It really just looks like Raikou has to get the job done here, and there's plenty of answers to this Pokemon, especially with the amount of prize cards that are taken. A Radiant Charizard could come out of nowhere and take an easy knockout there, and you could be calling Connor your regional champion.
Yeah, and I mean, Lugia, once it gets set up, got those attackers, you could be good to go. At this point, just quick ball, looking for that, and getting that Mew.
Yeah, I'm just gonna add that into the hand. There's so many cards gone from the deck already. Not much else to work with, but look at the hand size here.
Well, I found all the cards that are supposed to be in Alex's deck. They're and sitting on so much right now, but just needs to find something to chain together.
Yeah, if we see the cross switchers use this turn, there's no Pokemon that directly just gets, well, besides the Crobat, that would be knocked out from the Raikou. So maybe you could see that be avoided, and Alex could go after some prize cards here, but just depends on what he thinks is the biggest threat now.
Just get something going so that you could potentially, if Connor makes it through the next turn without finding that win, without finding the 2 prizes, that you can maybe have an answer to be taking those last couple that you need.
We see the cross switchers floating to the front of the hand, but certainly a decision still needed to be made.
And such a crucial one, too. At this point, you're behind the prize trade. The deck didn't do necessarily what you wanted, and it will be the cross switchers making their way out. Lugia V on Connor's end into the active to be taken down by this Raikou.
This is the fastest Raikou promotion we've seen in a long time here.
Yep.
And it looks like he's going to go ahead and line things up here. Quick ball looking through the deck now. Is there a way to get this done? Radiant Charizard gonna be moving into the active spot, and that's a big knockout. Congratulations, Connor Finton, your Arlington Regional Champion.
What a victory. You can hear everyone cheering him on. This is the matchup that he was fearing, the one.